up, everybody? Welcome to Ask Rinde. I'm Rinde Adebayo, digital entrepreneur, real estate entrepreneur, coming to you in another video. Welcome to Ask Rinde. If it's your first time at the channel, please hit the subscribe button and smash the like button. So today I want to do this video, or a quick video for you, on the foreclosure process. This is a very, very highly requested video that I've received. Thank you guys for all your messages from all over the country. It has been incredible and overwhelming, the kind of response and engagement and the growth of the network. We're seeing a lot of great things happen. We are helping a lot of people. A lot of you that have reached out to us, we've actually been facilitating on to where you need to be, and also, and believe it or not, we're also helping people get jobs. Yes, foreclosure at the root of it is the financial problem. And so I wanted to do this video specifically to address the exact process. I've touched on this in a couple of my videos here and there, but I've gotten a lot of requests to just basically give one video on explaining the foreclosure process and from start to finish. So here's how the foreclosure process starts. You are late on your payment. The lender then sends you a letter saying that you're 30 days late. They start calling you. Now, if you're not able to resolve that, you roll over to 60 days. 60 days, still you get notices, you get calls from them. They're calling you nonstop. What's going on? You haven't received the payment. So you are late. You get these late notices. And then you're going into the 90-day window where you're 3 months now. You have not paid the first month, second month, during the third month, and they're sending you a notice, what is called a notice of intent to foreclose. When you get that notice for intent to foreclose, the lender is pretty much not in a position to initiate the foreclosure process at that time. They're just giving you an intent to foreclose notice, and then also they will offer you options. Generally, the options, like I've covered many times here on my channel, may include everything from a loan modification offer to a short sale to a deed in lieu. Some banks offer what is called forbearance agreement. They'll try to see if they can help to work things out or engage you to be able to see what they can do to help fix your dilemma or help you, get back in right standing since you have an issue. After that 90-day window, what the lender does then is hire an attorney, or they have an attorney that they already have secured for all their files. That attorney then initiates the process. And what they do in that sense, the first thing they do after the 90-day window and you have not paid, that is what I've called many times here on my channel the point of no return, where you're either going to then either reinstate the loan, where you're going to have all 3 months of arrearages and give it to them in one lump sum, or they will not take any money from you. I do not advise people to send in partial payments without something in writing from the bank, because what a lot of times happens here is people will send in partial payments to the bank, and the bank will then take it and use it towards your late fees. They will not apply towards the principal. I can go in detail on that, and if you reach out to me, my email address is askrindenow@gmail.com. So after the 90-day window, the bank or the servicer for the bank then has the attorney initiate what is called a title search. They start to do a title search on the property to find out about any liens or encumbrances aside from theirs, to be able to know. So primarily, a lot of times they look for government liens, because government liens hold first position. If you notice, most mortgages have, they do not allow you to pay your taxes separately, and that's because they want to maintain first position. So they want to be able to go ahead and foreclose without any issues whatsoever. So after the servicer then has the attorney do a title search, once that title search comes back, they come back with the results and they issue it to the bank. And then at that point, they file a complaint. That complaint basically is a notice that's given to basically complain or set on notice that you are in default, and they're within their rights to be able to begin foreclosure proceedings against you. It doesn't mean that that's a lit pendants that's filed at that moment, but it is a complaint that has to be filed. After the complaint is filed, then it's what is filed it's called a lit pendants, or is a pending lawsuit. It's an intent to basically sue you for possession of the property. I've talked about list pendants many times, and you can watch my other videos on that and what it is. I go into more detail there. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to actually mention it, and you can check my other videos to get more details. So after the list pendant is filed, then what they do is they send you a summons. This is where you get a certified mail. They're going to make sure that they follow all due process. They're going to send you certified mail. They're going to also probably serve you at the property to be able to ensure that they've covered all their grounds as far as serving you, because the intent of this is to basically follow their course of action when it comes to state law, to make sure that they've done everything they could to be able to let you know about this lawsuit. So after your summons, there is a required response. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky, because even if you respond to the bank, some banks generally they give you about 21 days to respond. But even if you respond, when you do respond, your response will be something to the effect of addressing what they're offering as a remedy. If you don't have anything solved on your end, then you'll have to then talk to them and dialogue with them about what they're offering or what they suggest may help the situation, such as a short sale, such as a loan modification, such as a deed in lieu, other options that may be available. And so at that point is a kind of time where you are required to respond to them to let them know what you're looking to do or what you will do regarding the property. Now, even if you respond to them, what do? You have to be ready when you respond to the bank to know this is what my options are. And it's always best, I always recommend that you know what your options are before you dialogue and engage the bank. I've seen people make some mistakes, many mistakes regarding how they deal with the bank, because we just had a scenario recently where the bank said to the person to send in money and they didn't give him anything in writing. And I said to them, well, how can you send in all this money to the bank, 4 months worth of payment, and you don't have anything in writing? So if they do go ahead and take that money and then proceed and foreclose on you, what do? Are you going to sue them for the money? I mean, it's never going to hold up. So anything that you do in the bank, when it gets to this point, after you have responded to them, any resolution, you want to make sure that you have it in writing, have certified mail from the bank, something in writing that you'll be able to have that can stand in court. Now, during the resolution process, that is their attempt to mediate. Again, the bank is going through all these processes to set you up so that they can let the judge and the law know that they've done all their due course as per state law in order to be able to help you resolve the situation, resolve the lawsuit with you. And if they haven't been successful, then they're looking to try to basically get granted approval to foreclose. So after the resolution process, where if they are going through different options with you and there's nothing that's been able to be resolved, then they'll go ahead and send off the file to the sheriff for scheduling. This is kind of like the quiet time, where your house and your loan is just been in queue. The sheriff's office has a log and a list of properties that they have to proceed to foreclose on, and yours goes in there in some part of the queue. And based on where you land, then they'll set what is called a date. So that's where sheriff sale and auction dates get set after the resolution is unsuccessful. Then they'll go ahead and send it off to the sheriff, and then the sheriff is holding it basically to be able to get queue. Now, there's a key point. What happens basically is that after the resolution part with you, or where if they're not able to resolve anything, then what they'll do is the attorney will file a motion with the judge to be able to go ahead and be granted the right to foreclose. There are several motions, aside from the lawsuits, there are several motions that are done. That's why the banks and the servicers hire these attorneys to go through this process and basically deal with the courts to be able to set things up so that they can legally foreclose on you. So as a top producing agent here in New Jersey, my primary market, I handle a lot of foreclosures and help many people in these dilemmas. And here in New Jersey, we have a foreclosure span or foreclosure timeline of 11 months. So from start to finish, you're looking at about 11 months to 12 months. There are some exceptions there, and there used to be more of a time span years ago, but now it's pretty much almost on point when it comes to New Jersey specifically. They're 11 to 12 months, and also we see the same thing in New York as well. So when they actually file this motion, the judge looks over the entire background and the entire backdraft of, okay, well, they look to see if everything's been done. Okay, well, have you served them? Have you tried to resolve it? Have you tried to mediate? And all these things. And then when he looks at it, he just stamps an approval on it. So a lot of times with the courts, it's like almost systematic now. They know that, there's a checklist. Once everything is checked off, he automatically stamps it, set to foreclose. And so once the sheriff then gets that approval from the judge, that final approval from the judge, then they make their dates. They make their dates both around the queue and the backlog or the inventory that they have, and also the approval from the judge to go ahead and set a sheriff sale date. Once an auction date or a sheriff sale date is set, then that date is projected, and that's going to be, there is a way to delay that sheriff sale, and there are a few things that we do to be able to delay it. There are different timelines. Some people will tell you that you have up to 30 days to do that. I can tell you that we have delayed sheriff sales and put off sales for much longer, years, and in some cases. It's a case-by-case situation, so those things vary, but you can definitely reach out to me and we can discuss and talk about your unique situation regarding that. My email address is askrindenow@gmail.com. Basically, once the sheriff sale is set, if you have not been able to put the sheriff sale off, then what will happen, basically, the property will go to sale. And at that sale, like I've said many times, the attorney for the bank or the servicer will be at the sale. They're going to start the sale off at I would say, default amount that they want to be able to get that monetary value or that monetary amount for the property. And there will be people in the room, investors and other people that are bidding on properties at the sheriff's office, at the sheriff's auction. And if a third party, which is one of those other people, doesn't buy the property, then the bank automatically defaults and takes the property back. Generally, we've had banks take the properties back for $1. We've had others take it back for $100, but they'll take it back for the least amount that they can. If the property goes to a third party, that third party then has to put up a 20% deposit, and then at a later time they have to then provide the remainder of the funds. In New Jersey, if the property goes to sheriff sale and the property is sold either through a third party or the bank, you still have a 10-day redemption period, where within that 10-day window you would need to come up with the entire funds, the entire loan amount or the entire debt amount to be able to redeem the property back. We have been able to get people's properties redeemed during that 10-day period. Now, if you're not able to, which many people won't, if you had a struggle coming up with a reinstatement amount, which could be like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, how will you then come up with $400,000? It's a long shot. So you do everything you can not to allow your property go into needing to be redeemed during that 10-day redemption period, but you still have that option. If you don't redeem the property after that 10-day period, then the third-party purchaser, if it's a third-party purchaser, will then basically post their remainder of their funds to be able to get the property. And then there's a process where they get a title and all that. What will happen is, if a person buys it at the auction, the third party, most times they'll reach out to you and they'll try to see if they can negotiate something with you, maybe a few dollars to help you move, etc. And that will be how that goes. If the property goes to the bank generally has a different process. They will also reach out to you, and if the property then gets assigned to an REO agent, that REO agent will contact you. An REO agent is someone who actually works for the bank. They handle all the bank-owned properties. So properties that are taken back by the bank then goes to the REO agent. That person's responsibility is to be able to get the property, secure it, get it, basically take possession of it, secure it, and get it winterized, because they have to hold on to it for a certain amount of time. is different after the property sells, where if a third party buys it or the bank takes it back. If a third party buys it, they're looking to get into the property as quickly as they can, take possession of it because they have something they want to do with it. They either want to get the property, flip it, they're going to keep it, they're going to rent it, something they're going to do with it. So it's important to understand that there is a big difference. With the bank will then hold on to the property. So there's a gestation period of about 18 months that they're going to hold on to that property. But the REO agent will make sure that they offer something to you, because a lot of times there's a fear on their end. There's a fear that, you can, damage the property severely. There's a fear that you could burn the property, different things. Not that you're going to do something illegal, but they don't want to have to do so much to the property. So they will offer you something. How much they'll offer you, that goes with, I don't know. I mean, it all depends on what you guys can negotiate, what's reasonable. But I've had different situations where I've seen people, offer them, $200, $300. And, sometimes in these situations, you can't avoid it. If you find that you have no options, you can just short sale the property if that's something. And we do a lot of short sales here. And in the short sales, generally the bank will give, there is a amount that we get from the bank that's in the thousands for the homeowner to be able to relocate. So that's an option. And if you're interested in that, as I said, I'm a top producing agent here in New Jersey. We can definitely help you with that. My phone number is 201-855-7575. And also my email is askrindenow@gmail.com. So generally, that's the foreclosure process from inception to finish. Once the property gets bought by a third party or taken back by the bank, that's pretty much the end of it. The only issue and the only thing that I have to warn people that are considering letting their property go when it comes to foreclosure and sheriff sales, there's a misconception that the sheriff sale exonerates or wipes out the debt, and that is false. There is something called a deficiency judgment that the bank can then come back to the homeowner and file against them, a claim against them later after the sheriff sale to recover the money they lost. So an example of that would be someone who owes $600,000 on a property, and the property is only worth, let's say, $320,000. Combined with the condition of the property, the damage, the market, whatever the case is. The fact is that you still have a $600,000 debt. So if they're only able to recover $300,000 or $250,000 at the sheriff sale, then they can file a deficiency judgment for you for that difference. And how they proceed, it all depends on the bank and the attorney. It's just no different than I don't know if you've had a credit card deficiency. If you had anyone that's had situations where they have trouble paying a credit card, the credit card companies will then assign the file to an attorney. Depending on the attorney and the credit card company, some of them will pursue it up to a point after they've given you notices and after they've tried to give out a work out payment arrangement to you and all that, and they'll stop at that. You just won't hear anything from them. Others will go to the length of basically garnishing your bank account. Any bank account that has your name on it, they will go after it. It's the same thing when it comes to the mortgages. So beware of allowing your property just to go to sheriff sale. It is a very, very dicey situation. Depending on who you have and the attorney involved, the bank involved, there is a strong possibility that they can come after you for a deficiency judgment, and that can be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, recovering damages of course, attorney fees and all that. So, you just want to be aware of that. It's always good when it comes to foreclosure to know your options and to be very strategic. I teach strategy. That's what we built our network on. And one of the things about foreclosure that I've shared, like I've said before, is a financial problem. There are things that lead up to it, but because it is a financial, part of life, it's something that has to be solved at the root. So I developed the Ask Rinde network to be able to help people not only get past the foreclosure, but also create opportunities for them in a network to be able to help them get, jobs, get businesses going, things to be able to get themselves out of where they are. And so we're growing, and we are looking forward to helping over 500 families this year. I look forward to really working with many of you, and I thank you so much for supporting the channel, and continue to share my videos. Please like, comment, subscribe, And look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day.
Hi, my name's Pete, and well, I have a very high rate of interest on my mortgage. There was even a court pending foreclosure in process on my property. And let me tell you, my attorneys failed, so did a loan modification application. Then Rinde reached out to me, and I'm so glad I listened. After we spoke, I now had a solution. Strongly recommend taking a look and calling them.